To the Region Podcast. It's sponsored by Northwest Indiana Realtors Association. With me today is Candy Warren. How you doing, Candy?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Joe Moak, how you doing?
Doing great.
You got your own agency, right?
Yeah, family brokerage. My dad started many years ago. Yeah.
How many years ago?
In the early 1970s.
Really?
Yeah, in Gary, Indiana. He worked for my grandfather, so I'm third generation real estate broker.
Really?
No.
Do you know what I looked like in the late 70s? Long hair, hanging out at Wells Street Beach, right down the street from where your place was.
I might have met you there.
There you go. Wearing a halter type, throwing a Frisbee around?
You betcha.
How's that sound? Let's date ourselves. Candy, where are you from?
Hobart.
Really? So that's right down the street going to Wells Street Beach,
You
right?
betcha.
And where are you from, Joe?
Born in Gary, but raised in Maryville.
Gary, Maryville. So you guys are right in the heart of the region, both of you, and you're both real estate brokers, right?
Yep.
How many years, Candy?
22.
How about you, Joe?
In the 30s now. I was licensed in 92.
So Maryville High, Andre, and what?
Maryville High, 92 grad. I got licensed to sell real estate right after I graduated.
Oh, really? I'm sorry if I said Andrean because I know the difference there, and I should have just let it be. I said Maryville, but really, I did that one time to a guy, and he's like, dude, don't ever do that again. Accuse me of going to Andrean. But that's a different story altogether. Hey, we're here. The Key to the Region podcast. We do a lot of different things, and if you guys want to find it, it's on Apple or Spotify. Just type in WJOB or Key to the Region or NIRA. Any of those, you'll be able to find it on Apple or Spotify. You can also go to YouTube, and you'll be able to just type in WJOB 1230, and you'll find it as its own channel. But right now, we're live on the radio, so don't cuss. How does that sound?
No problem.
We're going to talk... Before we go into this podcast, I just want everybody to know we are recording at the end of August 2026. A week ago, we wouldn't have been able to do this podcast. 2 weeks ago, we would have been in the middle of the worst storm ever to hit Northwest Indiana. And I got to believe that has affected a lot of your clients. Joe, you got any special that were in kind of any special circumstances?
Well, there's been a couple. We had a couple deals delayed because of problems with trees and stuff down. We also, I recently sold a couple homes. One in Maryville during the first storm, lost all his trees right after we closed, and there's another gentleman that's dealing. Everybody's pretty much dealing with something. They all have their stories, but it does affect real estate. The phone stopped ringing there for about a week or so. Everybody was busy dealing with the storm. My office was down too for 2 weeks in Crown Point. Yeah.
Generators and chainsaws.
Right.
I live in the heart. They actually had our area on national news, and with the drone flying over there in kind of the North Munster area by Wicker Park. But Portage got hit. Your hometown, Hobart, got hit. I mean, all the way to LaPorte.
I have a tree on my roof.
Yeah, you do.
I do, yeah.
Is it still there?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it.
I have a very large front porch, and the tree was on the west side, and the top of the tree broke off, and about 30 foot of it is on top of the front porch.
Are you going to have to reinforce and rebuild that roof? Or
No, and it didn't break through the house or anything. But like Joe, I had homes that I was supposed to close on that there was no power, and I didn't feel that was right for the buyer. But honestly, in the storm, what we have become, at least me, I'm sure Joe as well, we become a resource. How do we file the insurance claim? What do we do? Can you help us with that part of it? And so we have past clients giving us calls, trying to get assistance and help with the catastrophic damage to their homes.
I know this isn't originally scheduled theme of this, and we'll get to that, but it is very crucial information to give to the homeowner. They've called, they've filed the claim online, and that adjuster comes out. Joe, in your mind, what does that homeowner need to be prepared for?
Well, with an insurance claim, I mean, I'm dealing with it personally. I have clients dealing with it right now. We have a listing with a tree on a roof currently, and it's making showings very difficult with trees in the yard. And so,
this is a great place, great school system. Please try to picture it without that tree on the roof. Yeah.
Well, you can always decorate it for Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. That's the new color of the region is blue tarps on roofs.
Oh, they're everywhere. Yeah. And so we have to address that. But I mean, I know a lot of homeowners, especially first-time homeowners, which we're going to talk about, they're like all nervous. They're going to say the wrong thing to the insurance person. What should be the attitude? I mean, what kind of stuff should they make sure they have documents or fit pictures or what?
I've used advocates through roofing companies and stuff. That's what would be my suggestion is contact a reputable roofing company that can deal with the insurance company. I forgot the name of it.
There are advocates that you can find. If you're not going to use an advocate, what you have to do is take lots of photographs. You have to document everything. You have to record every conversation you have with your insurance company. You have to save every email. You have to just make sure that you are presenting your case to the very best of your ability and keeping a record. That's the most important.
What do you mean by that?
You put the dates on your photographs, so you have a file, let's say in your Gmail or whatever you have. You make that file, my insurance claim from this storm of 2026, and you put all of the correspondence from the insurance companies in there, any bids that you receive on any of the work that you're going to have done. You put all your photographs in there so that everything is easily accessible for you when you need it.
Governor Braun sat in the seat you're sitting in right there the day after the flood, and he basically said the same thing. He said pictures, write down serial numbers. If it's a lot of times they don't cover your lawn, even though that massive trees have been pulled up. But if anything hit the house or ripped up your driveway or hit a car, all that needs to be documented and then shown to the insurance agents. I guess one of the things I'm thinking about it from the homeowner standpoint is that some people are so afraid of like saying the wrong thing to the adjuster. And I wonder if you could just talk about the attitude of when that adjuster is coming over and you have your home and you're sitting there. You're freaked out, of course. What would you tell that homeowner who has the adjuster coming over?
What I would tell them is, first of all, just take a deep breath.
There you go. Like we did at Wall Street Beach.
Yes. Well,
don't say it. Don't say it.
Maybe not that deep. But the first thing that you need to do is relax in some way, because they're not there. They're really on a fact-finding mission. The adjuster that they're sending out to the house is going to be assisted in your claim if you give them all the factual information that you have. And by being nervous and forgetting things, I would suggest a list of things that you want to make sure that you tell them so that you have a cheat sheet, so to speak, and don't miss any of your points. But honestly, they're not really there to cheat you. They're there to record your claim, to present your claim to the insurance company.
All right, that is exactly what I wanted you to say, because you're talking of hundreds of thousands of people that were affected, and many of them are homeowners, many of them are apartment owners, and they're all dealing with the insurance adjusters and the insurance claims, and then you get the nightmare ones like, oh my gosh, I said, it was a flood, and I used that word, and now they're not covering anything. There are those specific things, but for the most part, they want to treat you fairly, but you just got to be detailed.
You do. As detailed as you can possibly be. We had a tree fall on one of our cars and total it, and the steering wheel is now in the driver's seat, so it's a little hard to go. But
so you got a tree on the house, and you got a steering wheel in the driver's seat.
Yes, yes.
What a horrible moment in homeowner history. Believe me, I've got similar. I've got basically the same thing, and I don't realize that, but now I'm kind of coming out of it. Maybe there's a little PTSD from the whole thing. Like, you can't work from home. You're kind of freaked out.
Exactly.
You love your home. You probably do a lot of work from home, as a realtor.
Some.
Yeah, some. And then all of a sudden you can't. You got to go somewhere. And
it made life difficult. It was fortunate for me. I was working, getting ready to list a home out of the area. And when the storm hit, I was there and stopped and picked up a couple generators for me and my next door neighbor. But
I know that's not where we're supposed to be right now, but that is an amazing story because Home Depot let us know that they have a pallet just came in. And I was doing the show, and I just said, I got to go. I got to get a generator. And I got like the third to last one, and then they didn't have any for like 19 hours till the next day.
No, that generator business was good.
Unbelievable. It was like people were waiting, and they were.
So
one guy drove to Wisconsin to buy one and come home, and it was, but you're okay. You're safe. Now you've got this home that you got to fix up. It's your love, pride and joy, and that's basically what we talk about here on Key to the Region is it's your home, and what are you going to do about it? But before that, you had to buy that home, and that's what we want to hit now for the first-time home buyer. Maybe most of this will apply right now, but people come to you and they say, hey, we've never bought a home. We've been living in an apartment. We got a kid now, and we want to get into a home. And then maybe we can spend $225,000 or whatever they could spend. You might deal with that with more on the financial side. But they're coming to you for the first time. They know nothing about it, and you got to coach them. What do you do? Joe, you take that one first.
Well, The first thing is to have a consultation, with your buyer, figure out what their needs are, and determine the right path for them. They need to talk to a lender would be right off the bat. Now in Indiana, you need to hire your buyer's agent. You have to have a buyer agency agreement with your buyer. So being ready. And willing is one thing, but willing and ready to watch the market, to determine what houses you like, and to jump on them as soon as they get listed. So you need to have hired a buyer's agent. You need to get pre-approved, and you need to watch the market closely.
One of the other things you need to do as well, if they're renting particularly, is you need to coordinate your house search with when their lease is up on their apartment.
That's a really good practical tip. People probably don't always take that, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got a house we want. It's all ready, but we got to pay 6 more months on our apartment. That could actually change the financial dynamic of it.
It could, depending on what kind of lease they have and that sort of thing.
Or the other way, the landlord doesn't want to renew their lease for whatever reason, or their rent's going up, and now they're scrambling to find a home to purchase, and they have to settle maybe, as opposed to being in the driver's seat watching the market.
And just like Joe said, every person's situation is different, but it helps if you go over the process, how long it takes from the time you get an accepted offer on a home till you close on the home, when your first payments are going to be due. It really helps if you tell them things that are going to happen right out of the gate once they get an accepted offer, things that are going to happen right before closing, so that even though you're going to have to tell them again because they're not going to remember everything, you've at least given them a timeline of what they need for the process.
Let's talk about the financial aspect of it. Do you advocate that they go to a mortgage company or to a bank before they start this process? Joe, you've been in here too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's primary to determine what type of financing, whether they are cash, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA loan, what type of loan are you going to get on the home? And does the home that you're looking at qualify for that type of financing? Because some homes need work and they wouldn't qualify for certain type of loans. So having that buyer consultation, sitting down with a lender, determining your buying power and what type of loan that buying power is for.
I tell people that when they need the pre-approval letter for two reasons. One is so that I can search for homes for them in their price range and for the type of loan that they're qualified to get. Secondly, once they find that home, the home that they want to purchase, we have to prove to the seller that they can afford to purchase it. And by not having that pre-approval letter, someone else could get in there and get that home before they could write an offer.
So in terms of the financial aspect of it, when someone comes in, and we're talking specifically about first-time home buyers, and I love this part of our discussions on these podcasts, partly because I know so many kids in that range, and it disheartens me that the average home buyer is now first-time home buyer is 40 years old. I mean, it used to be late 20s, you know. So, you know, they coming into you, and from the financial part of it, are you coaching them more toward like purchase price, or, I mean, are you looking at monthly payment, including taxes and everything? I mean, what's paramount, purchase price or monthly payment in your guys' mind?
I think that
or they go hand in hand.
Everyone today is all about the monthly payment. They have to have a particular monthly payment. When you go to a lender and get a pre-approval letter, they are looking at what is called your debt to income ratio. And depending on the lender, it will depend on what that happens to be. But it used to be a rule of thumb that 30% of your gross income could be for anything that you had in a revolving debt, like a car, a credit card, a home. And so keeping that monthly payment within whatever the number is for that particular lender is the most critical thing. And so they base the amount of your purchase on that debt to income ratio. Your interest rate is mostly determined by your credit score. If your credit score is not as good, then your interest rate is going to be a little higher because of that. And if during the process, before you get an accepted offer, if the interest rate bumps, your pre-approval letter amount may go down.
And that's important. Yeah,
it's very important.
Yeah.
Because you don't lock in an interest rate until you get an accepted offer.
Uh-oh.
And so as these rates are fluctuating, your monthly payment is fluctuating, and your affordability is also fluctuating with it.
Joe, you were going to say?
Piggyback on that, the monthly payment also has a lot to do with taxes. And so, people coming from Illinois are getting the benefit of lower taxes, so they could afford more here because they have a lower monthly payment. And HOA dues go into that, insurance goes into that. So determining the monthly payment is a little more complicated than just figuring out the loan terms.
Absolutely.
That's interesting that you mentioned people coming from Illinois, and here they are in Tinley Park and probably maxed out on what they could get, and they come over here and they're like, wow, I can get a lot more house. So is that where a lot of your, that would be a second or third time home buyer, but I guess in my head, I'm thinking of somebody in Highland or Hobart or Maryville, where you guys grew up, thinking, all right, I'm living in this apartment and now I want to get a house, maybe in my hometown of Hobart or Maryville, and they can't afford it. But people from Illinois that are first-time home buyers may have a little bit different situation. So are you seeing first-time home buyers from Illinois, or most of those coming over as second-time home buyers?
I'd say most of them are
second-time home buyers.
Yeah. We're getting, and you probably know the stats for this, but better than I do, but about 120,000 people a year are leaving Illinois. and half of them are coming to Indiana.
How's that feel? How's that feel when you're riding on 231 and it's 2 lanes
I
and
know,
it's
and
8 cars deep at the stop
exactly.
sign? And then all of a sudden there's not a stop sign. Now they got a roundabout and it's still packed. Yeah,
no,
I mean, it's crazy.
It's really made congestion an issue in our area for sure. The roads aren't anywhere near capable of handling the new traffic. But the bigger issue, really, I think that Joe and I both tackle is when a first-time home buyer comes, we don't have that many homes in the price range that they're able to purchase.
Yeah,
we don't have enough inventory in the lower price ranges. And
what would you consider that? Lower price range changes by town. Yeah. So let's just use Hobart. What would you consider lower price range?
I'd say 225 and under.
I would think that would.
And that would be Hammond and Maryville, and we'd have to go higher than that in Munster and Highland, but a lot of the area is probably 225 and under.
Right, and then you run into a problem where first-time buyers have to usually get an FHA loan a lot of times. Less money down, qualify, lower credit score, you qualify for the loan, but those homes in the lower price range sometimes need work, and they're not qualified for the FHA loan. They would only go cash or conventional type of financing. So you run into more problems there. You have to have a home in good shape a lot of times for FHA financed buyer.
So let's think about this. All right, we obviously covered a storm, and we'll probably finish with that. But here we are, late August of 2026. It's really tough for first-time home buyers, mainly because of what you just said. We just don't have the inventory in that price range. You're looking for a $450,000 house in Cherville? Oh, we got a few we could show you, right? Maybe not as many as we used to. Probably got to go up even from there. But if you more money you have, more options you have. But in that first tier, there's almost like an emotional hand-holding that you two have to do as brokers. So people come to you. I remember buying my first home in Griffith for $69,000 at 9.5%. And it took forever because we didn't know what we were doing, and they're holding our hands, and we got 2 kids that are kicking us out of the apartment, and it was really a desperate time. We were lucky to get a broker that held our hands, put up with my wife crying a little bit here and there. In other words, they were almost like emotional guides through this incredibly complex process. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah. We're like the support animal.
All the time.
Explain. I mean, what is your role in that situation? Somebody new comes to you. You might have them for their second and third home, but you got to get them on their first home. I mean, how do you handle that where they're nervous, they're barely going to make it?
Well, I've learned, and Joe has as well, because his temperament is similar to mine, that if I'm calm, they're calm.
That's pretty good.
I have also learned that how I present a problem to them has a lot to do with how they react to the problem. It isn't that I downplay the problem, but I don't have to overemphasize the problem either.
Right. And we're filters. You don't necessarily have to relay all the information to your buyer. That's why they hired you. You're handling the business on their behalf, and you're their advocate.
Exactly. And a lot of, and people respond to that. They respond to someone that is calmly taking them through a transaction rather than jumping off the roof every time. And every now and then we'll get someone that I'll my own vernacular, I'll say, I have to talk them off the ledge. And it happens often.
Oh, believe me, and there are a lot of people listening or watching that went through that same process when they bought their first home. And there's a lot of people listening that haven't been able to and want to. And they kind of look for the right broker that meets you emotionally and understand has that kind of understanding.
You really do. And the National Association of Realtors says that within 15 seconds of when you walk in the door of a home, you know if it's your home or not. So buying your first home is completely an emotional decision.
How scary is that? I don't know about you. I've had a lot of problems with completely emotional decisions in my life, but that's
and that's part of what Joe and I do. We, if we go in a home and we believe the home is a train wreck for these people, we will do everything that we can to encourage them to look beyond what they feel.
Okay, so let's circle around in this long form podcast. It's called Key to the Region. If you're driving around, we're recording it live on WJOB and on YouTube. We're 2.5 weeks past the biggest storm ever here in the region. What do you think? How do you think that will affect the real estate market for the next couple of months, couple of years, long term? What do you think, Joe?
I don't think that it's going to help our low inventory. I think there was probably people out there thinking about selling their home, and now they're going to wait. Maybe they're going to wait to the spring, but we're not going to see those homes come on the market, and if they need work, for sure, and especially if the landscaping is trashed,
which it is in about half of the
right.
homes that, I mean, in every community. I mean, in Munster and Portage, Hobart, anything along the ridge, really.
All you have to do is drive down Ridge Road.
Yeah,
to
drive
see the
down
damage.
Ridge Road.
That's
I mean, I think 90% of those homes have bad lawns at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little further off the ridge, they're a little bit better, but you can't present your home when you got big tire treads
Exactly.
in your yard, even if your home has unscathed from trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess I hadn't thought about that. So for that first-time home buyer, it could be even more difficult with less homes on the market. It's possible.
It is possible.
I can see that.
What about you, Candy? What do you see in the next year?
Well, I think that a lot of people that had damage to their homes so far have said that they don't want to go back to their home once it's fixed. And they're going to put their homes immediately for sale once their home is fixed.
So let's look at the progression of what you guys are laying out. Maybe it tightens up on the supply right now.
On a short-term basis.
Exactly.
And then maybe in the spring, there will be more coming to the market. But then, of course, all the people from Illinois are going to come gobble them up before these young couples from Highland could buy them. But
well, not always.
Yeah.
The buyers today, back in the day, they needed Joe and I to actually find them a home. They have enough online tools. They can find homes to look at now, and they do. We assist them, but they do. What they really need us for is the other things that we offer. They need our experience and our expertise and how to guide them through an inspection and how to talk them off the ledge when the lender asks for the same document 10 times, and what to do, the first steps, and how to live in their home and get their homestead exemption. They need those types of services from us much more today than ever before, but they don't need us in a lot of cases to find that home because they can find that home on their own.
Well, they need us to cooperate with other professionals.
Yes, they do.
You know, me and Candy work on a deal. You know, she represents her clients to the best of her ability. I represent my clients.
Absolutely.
And we keep the deal together. Yeah.
And you guys have been on the opposite sides before?
We have.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're 10 grand apart. It helps if you know each other, I suppose, to, maybe push it over the ledge there. But yeah,
It depends on your reputation in the industry. Joe has an amazing reputation in our industry. He just won Realtor of the Year for NIRA. He's just a great realtor.
Well, thank you.
And so if you have a good reputation and you are easy to work with, other agents work with you a lot better than they do potentially others.
What a great radio voice, by the way. I just needed to point that out. I mean, people driving around like, who is that? All right, that's Candy Sweetwarren, and she is a broker with Macaulay Real Estate, Macaulay.com. If you want to get a hold of Candy, it's 219-973-1048. Joe Moak, the Moak Agency, one of the Weichert Realtors, and that one is, let's say, 219-662-3000. His office is in Crown Point, and Candy is all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, thanks for coming in. This has been the Key to the Region podcast, sponsored by the Northwest Indiana Realtors Association. And thank you, Joe. Thank you, Candy.
Thank you for having us.
But mostly thank to our producer who puts all this together and does a great job, and that is Adriana Alvarez. Hey, go to the WJOB Podcast Network on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. There's NIRA's podcast there and all sorts of other local ones. Until next time, we'll see you later. Hey, everybody, this is a WJOB Spotlight. It's a micro podcast. If your brand, your business wants to promote something, get a hold of Adriana with 2 N's at WJOB1230.com. You can see this on YouTube. You can also see it or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. This one's called a WJOB Spotlight, which means it's about 4 to 5 minutes. And we want to spotlight one thing right now. I'm sitting here with Candy Sweetwarren. Thank you, Candy, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And Joe Moak of the Moak Agency. He's been around for a long time, but he just won a very prestigious award. Candy, tell us what his award was.
He was elected Realtor of the Year by the Northwest Indiana Realtor Association.
Let's talk about him like he's not sitting right next to us, okay? What about Joe Moak would get him this award?
He is a very steady guy. He's just a great human being. He does a lot of volunteering. He is a great agent. He sold hundreds of homes in his career. But he's third generation, so he has that edge that other people don't have because he learned from his dad, he learned from his grandpa, and he has pretty much all the pieces in place.
As soon as I say the Joe Moak Realtor of the Year, you just start smiling. I mean, you kind of gotta root for a guy like this,
you do.
right?
You really do. He deserved it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, let's talk about that. You are third generation. Let's talk directly. Was that your dad that was the second generation? What'd you learn from him?
Work ethic, for sure. He worked full time in the mill and also had a real estate company. So he would work midnights in the mill and then go to his real estate office during the day. I would run around with him all the time. He had a HUD contract, a housing and urban development contract, and managed hundreds of HUD homes across Northwest Indiana. So I had the experience of going into vacant HUD homes my whole childhood, learning a lot about houses and a lot about sales. Yeah.
A lot of those were in Gary then? Is that
a lot in Gary?
A lot of Gary. I mean, you're originally a kind of a Gary Marifel I-65 guy. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing your dad worked at U.S. Steel inland?
Yes, U.S. Steel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What a great pillar. U.S. Steel on the lake, grow up in Gary, and then move to Maryville. And you got to know that market pretty well. But before your dad, there was somebody else. Who was that?
My grandfather. So it was my dad's future father-in-law. He worked for as a real estate broker. And so, and then he decided to open his own company. So that was in the 60s, late 60s, that he worked for my grandfather, and then he opened his own real estate company, which was Moak Realty. We still are Moak Realty. We were based in Maryville for many years. But they both had real estate companies operating at the same time in the mid 70s. And then Grandpa closed his office, which was Presti Realty. And then we took Moak Realty for many years. And in 2018, we purchased the Weichert Realtors franchise and became part of that network.
And how many people are associated with you and Moak Realty and the?
About 25 broker associates with
Okay.
me. Recently, my daughter got her real estate license, so she'll be she's the fourth generation in our family to have broker license or real estate.
Did she go to school for real estate? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody would go to do the state requirements for real estate. Yeah.
Wow, that has to make you very proud.
Very proud. Yeah.
So we are talking to the Realtor of the Year. I feel like, we should have some music or have the trophy here or something. But hey, congratulations. I mean, I don't know if I've ever met you before because I don't have a memory. But you present just really well. Like you know the game, and we were talking about the different markets and so forth. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, and thank you to Candy. This has been a WJOB Spotlight on the Realtor of the Year, Joe Moak. Until next time, see you later.